Conservative Atheism, my journey to understanding my own values. For a long time, I felt politically homeless. I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. I don't believe morality requires religion. I support LGBT rights. I don't think transgender people are mentally ill. I believe women should have equal rights and equal dignity. And yet, many of my instincts seem conservative. My wife once accused me of not being a true atheist because of my social values. I've argued with religious relatives and found myself defending positions they didn't expect from an atheist. I've listened to progressives and found myself disagreeing with them too. So I decided to ask a simple question. What do I actually believe? The answer surprised me. At first, I thought my conservatism was mainly about traditional gender roles, but after examining my beliefs carefully, I realized something more complicated was happening. When I imagine a good society, I care deeply about family, responsibility, commitment, raising children, caring for elderly parents, and strong communities. I don't like a culture that treats every obligation as optional. I don't like the idea that personal happiness is the only thing that matters. I believe duty matters. I believe sacrifice matters. I believe family matters. But I also discovered something else. I have a very strong preference for sexual dimorphism. I like men to look like men. I like women to look like women. I find masculinity in men beautiful. I find femininity in women beautiful. And when those distinctions blur, I have a strong negative reaction. Now here's the important part. I don't think that makes someone a bad person. I don't think a feminine man is morally inferior. I don't think a masculine woman is morally inferior. I don't think anyone deserves fewer rights because they don't fit my preferences. I simply don't share that aesthetic. That's a distinction many people miss. A preference is not the same thing as moral judgment. A feeling is not the same thing as a universal law. The more I examine my beliefs, the more I realize that character matters more than presentation. If a man is loyal, kind, courageous, responsible, takes care of his family, raises his children well, and honors his parents, then he's a good man, even if he doesn't match my ideal. Likewise, if a woman becomes a doctor, an engineer, a business owner, or chooses a different path from traditional expectations, I can still respect her completely. What I admire most is not obedience to old rules. It's responsibility, it's commitment, it's loyalty, it's sacrifice. The older generation wasn't better simply because it was older. What I admire is the sense of duty that many people in that generation carried, the willingness to care for parents, the willingness to stay committed, the willingness to place family above individual convenience. Those are virtues worth preserving. At the same time, I don't want to turn my preferences into commandments. I don't need everyone to agree with me. I don't need society to enforce my aesthetic tastes. I simply want the freedom to say that I find masculinity and femininity beautiful, meaningful, and worth celebrating. Some people see beauty in a different vision of society. That's their right. I don't understand it emotionally, but I support their freedom to live according to their values. And that brings me to the central point. Atheism does not automatically lead to progressivism. Rejecting religion does not require rejecting tradition. You can be an atheist and still value family. You can be an atheist and still value responsibility. You can be an atheist and still admire masculinity and femininity. You can be an atheist and still believe that communities need more than individual freedom to survive. For me, conservative atheism is not about controlling other people. It's about preserving the values I believe help human beings flourish. Family, duty, responsibility, commitment, and yes, a vision of masculinity and femininity that I find personally beautiful. That's where I stand, not because a holy book tells me to, not because a religion commands it, but because after examining my own beliefs honestly, that's the worldview that feels most true to me.